Okay, good morning everyone. So today is the first class of our Rhino CAD design. And first thing, please download this file. That's the file we're going to use. And inside this file, we can see there are a couple different rows, and each row has some wireframes inside. And every row means one case. And follow these frames, you can get the result you want. So that's what we are going to do in this class. Just follow all these frames, follow all these steps, you can get the result like mine. First things I'd like to let you know is that the major difference between Rhinosys and the 3ds Max or Maya. Basically, Rhino is a nervous modeling software, so we can use this one for making something like a vehicle or machines or product or even architectures. So it's a very precise model. And also the model inside Rhino is already be ready from fabricating. So which means you can use the model inside Rhino to make CNC machines, using CNC machine to make the prototype, or using 3D printer to make prototype. So it's an industrial standard CAD software. And if you take a look, first one we call nervous model. And for this one, if you zoom in very closely, this curve and this surface still looks very smooth. It's because inside Rhinosys, everything basically is about the functions. So no matter you zoom in or zoom out, basically it will keep the fluency and make things always look the same, just like a vector line inside Adobe Illustrator. And if you take the second one, we call this one mesh. Inside Rhinosys, we can also make mesh. And inside 3ds Max and also Blender, usually they only have mesh and polygon. In Maya, it has the both, just like Rhinosys. And for now, it seems like okay, it's a fluent surface, but if you zoom in, you will figure it out. Basically, it was composed by different sections of little lines. So it's not that precise at all. And also, if you press F10 on your keyboard and move, you will figure it out. It's totally different. And for nerves modeling, if you press F10 and move, things will be different. It still keeps the fluency. So that's the difference. Let's turn on again. And the final one we call subdivision. That's a new function inside Rhino. Usually, for animating software, something like Blender and Maya, they have very powerful tool for subdivision tool, and it's very easy to use in this way to making something organic model like a creature, character, or maybe even aliens, things like that. But inside Rhinosys, we also can do that, but usually it's not very precise at all. So if you want to make a CAD model and be ready for making and fabrication, it's better to using nerve surface modeling. But if you want to make some organic things, you can use this one as well. Alright, so that's the major difference between these three different types of modeling. And now let's check the layout of the Rhino. Here is a scroll down list. Basically, you can find all the command of Rhino here, including save file, undo, redo, and all the different settings here. And here is the command bar. Of course, you can change the position, but usually I will keep my Rhino like the default setting. So here is the command bar. Rhino is relatively old and more like an engineer tools compared to all the other graphic design software. And also, for this way, it's very easy for you to type in different type of coding or script. So you can use the command bar, directly type in the command you want and get the result. So sometimes we can use the command bar and to type in, enter the command which we are going to use. Or sometimes we can just use the GUI interface, click the button and get the result. So both of them are very useful. And here is the working panel. For now, usually we will stay in standard panel, so you can see the layout like this. Here is some common toolbars we are going to use very often, and here is some system icons that we will use. But if you switch to another one, for example, like Surface Tool, Solid Tool, Sub-D tools, it will be totally different. So make sure you are stay in a standard. And if you see your layout is different from mine, probably you choose the wrong layout. Okay, and here is the viewport. And as far as you know, as a 3D object, it always has different side type of view. So we have to switch from different view very quickly. So you can click perspective view, top view, front view, and right view. So through this way, we can quickly switch different view using this hotkey. And also double click the title, you can jump to this kind of 4-section viewport. And double click again, you can jump in. Double click again, jump out, just like this. And here is the model property, including layer, model property, material, and all the other information. Usually, we will use the layer management to control our model. So I will teach you guys how to use this one later. But anyway, you can use the layer to change the Okay, thank you for the music. You can use the layer bulb to change the visibility of the object. Okay, so using this one, we can use to control a very complex model. And here is the assistant modeling tools. And we are going to use Object Snap and Gumball. Make sure you have checked these two. And don't check these two, Project and Disable. If you choose these two, basically it will cause a lot of problem for now. And for Object Snap, it will help us to snap certain points and certain location. So we are going to check endpoint, point, midpoint, intersection point, quad point, not vertex. So make sure you have checked all these things. Okay. So here is the basic about Rhino system. And how can we navigate inside Rhino? Basically, if you want to navigate inside Rhino, there are 3 things you need to know. First thing, rotation your camera. Using your right mouse button, you can rotate inside Rhino. Using your middle mouse button, the wheel, you can zoom in and zoom out. But it changed too quick. So usually, we can also hold on your control key and right mouse button key. You can zoom in and zoom out. And finally, if you want to pan your camera, hold on the shift key on your keyboard. You can pan the camera. Okay, so that's how we can navigate inside Rhinosys. Now let's go to see how to create things inside Rhino. First thing, I'd like to create a point. There are 2 ways. First way is using command bar. Just type in point. And you can play, once you finish your typing, press enter and select the point you want. So that's the first way. And the second way is using GUI icons. So click this button, single point, you can create a point again. Both of them are very useful. Sometimes we will use a command bar, and sometimes we will using the point in GUI interface. And now let's try to do some interesting experiment. Let's go to the GUI icons and click this little triangle. If you see the icon, in the bottom of the icon has this kind of little triangles, it means there are more options inside this button. So you can click this little triangle and call out all the other components. So let's choose this one, multiple points. And we can quickly create a lot of random points. Alright, and now let's select all these points. And now I'd like to tell you 2 different selection ways inside Rhinosys. If you select like this, from right to left, basically everything you have touched will be selected. Okay? And if you select from left to right, if the rectangle doesn't contain the object, it will not be selected. So through the left to right selection, you can choose the object more precisely. But if you want to select everything in a very quick way, you can drag your mouse from right to left so you can select everything you touch. Okay, so let's do this. Select everything and hold on your Alt key, Auto key on your keyboard. Rotate, rotate, move, rotate. And then you can quickly duplicate. And not only about move and rotate, even for scale. This is for rotation. So if you want to rotate in a certain degree, you can click this one and it will do the things you want to do. And also, you can click this one and type in the number you want. For example, like 60, and it will rotate 60. For the move as well, you can just move, click this one, and type in the number you want, or just drag randomly. Okay, and now for scale, even for scale, you can use an Alt key to copy different things. So we can hold on our Alt key and click this little cube, and then Rhinoceros will copy the object for us. And now here is the trick. I will delete some points, otherwise it would create too much faces for me. Let's see the magic. Select all the points. Click this little red dot in the middle of the arrow, and it will create lines. If you select all the lines, and choosing, probably we can use in this green dot in the middle of the arrow, you'll create faces. And in the end, for sure, I guess most of you have already know, if you choose all these faces, click the dot, blue dot, and move up, you'll create cube, or let's say volume. So with this way, we can quickly to do some composition practice, just like when we were fresh student in the college life. Professor will ask us to do some proportion and composition practice, and we will have to make physical model. But with this one, you can do that in a very quick way. Okay, so here is the things about how to use in command and command bar, and also how to use in GUI icons and Gumbo for sure. I will delete this one, and now let's go to see some setting inside Rhino. First things, let's go to here. Let's create a polyline. And then let's choose in this one, control point curve. And once you finish, press enter and you can finish your operating. Okay, so there is two lines and they look so different. But inside Rhinoceros, actually these two lines is the same thing. The only difference is that they have different degree. You can just imagine that this one is differential 1 and this one is differential 2 or 3. Let's check this out, okay? Select the polyline. In command bar, type in rebuild. Or you can go to edit, rebuild. And now you can see the parameter about these lines. And if you change, we don't have to change the point count. Let's keep this one has 7 points on the curve. But for the degree, if you change to 1, basically it will stick to the shape just like what we do before. But if you change to 2, the preview will look more smooth. And if you change to 3, you will get even more smooth. So getting even more like this. So inside rhinosis, no matter it's surface or curve, it always has different type of degree. And if you use a sharp polished surface, it was in degree 1. And it was a very fluent surface, which means probably it has higher degree. Okay, so that's the basic concept inside Rhino. Now let's go to the second row, and we can turn off this one now. And basically, inside Rhinosis, we control objects through the layer management. And in this layer management, you can see right now we have 5 layers inside Rhino. And the default layers is the layers which we will have when we turn on our new files. And you can see now there's a little check over here, which means now we are operating inside these layers. So no matter what kind of things you have drawn, they will pull this one, your object, into this default layer. And the color will look like black and white. And for sure, you can change the color. Just double click and you can change. And so if you double click to another layer like this one, the basis layer, now you draw a new scene, the color will be different. Okay, so let's go back to default layer. And we can turn off the basis. Here we are going to using the most fundamental operation inside Rhino, sweep 1. And this one is very useful. With sweep 1, probably you can make around 30% of different type model used through through Rhino. Sorry for that. So, how can we do sweep 1? Let's copy all these operating frames to the left. So select all of them, hold on your shift key, you can do multiple selections. And hold on your Alt key, you can copy these things to the right side. And sorry for that because probably I didn't select correctly. So let's do that again. Okay, so in order to do sweep 1, first thing we have to create a curve, and we will call this one rail curve. So let's go to control point curve and select the start point. You can choose any start point that you want, maybe the middle or maybe in a corner, it's up to you. And once you finish, please enter and you will end the operation. And then let's create 3 sections lines. So let's go to CP coin again and create 3 different type of section points. Section lines, sorry for that. And here is 3 section lines. But if we just do this using this one to do the sweep, it will cause some problem, and I can show you the both. So the idea of sweep is just to using this one as the rail lines, and Rhino will help us to make these 3 section lines follow the rail line and create a surface based on the shape of the rail line and also the section line. So before we finish, before we execute the command, we have to put these 4 things together. So let's copy this one. Just type in copy, or you can use in combo as well. But copy will be more precise because we can choose certain reference point. So for example, I just type in command bar copy, and then choose this object, choose the reference point, and I hope this one could be put in the same position. So I will put this one here. And for these 2, also I would like to use in copy or move. Move is also okay, but move we will not copy this one, so this one probably will remove. So let's use in move. Let's try out and just put this one here and also put this one here, maybe in the middle. Make sure you have turned on object's name, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, so for now it seems okay. So let's do the sweep one. Just type in sweep one. Select a rail, select a curve, the section curve. Just follow the instruction in the command bar and press enter. Okay, they create this kind of surface for us. But you might figure out that, for now you might figure out, basically, Rhino help us to create the transition deformation of lines between all these curves, between these three curves. So all the wireframe, we call this one structure lines. Basically, they are the transitions, they are the gradient deformation between these lines. But if you rotate a little bit, you might figure out, okay, it's a flattened surface, it's not a 3D surface. That's because if you want to make this one become a 3D surface, at least you have to make some deformation in the Z direction. So before we move this 3, we have to rotate the sections into 90 degrees. And now we can do sweep again. And it's better to put the end point attached with these start points, and also for this one. Anyway, it's better to make this line attach this rail line. Otherwise, you will create something weird effect. But you can try. But still, I will recommend you to put this line be attached with the rail line. So I will use move again. Select the line and click enter, and you will repeat the last command which we have do. So I've just moved all the lines to the rail lines. And then let's type in sweep. Select the rail lines, select the cross sections, and press enter. And now it has created a nice surface for me. Okay, so that's how we can use sweep. And for the second practice, we can use in closures curve for sweep 1. But don't forget that you can only choose the section as the closures curve. You cannot, or open curve like this. This circle is a closure curve, and this section is a closed curve. It's an open curve, and this circle is a closed curve. But you cannot select both of them. You can just select one. So, for example, if you want to using this circle, I will copy this one. Type in copy and choose them randomly. Maybe I just put this one here. You want to use this one as the start point, start curve, but you want to using these open curve as the end sections. Is that possible? Unfortunately, it is not possible, because you cannot change the circle typology into this kind of open curve. So you can only choose both of them are closure surface, closure curves, or choose both of the cross section as the open curves. So don't forget that. So I will delete this one, and maybe we can draw a guiding line, because I want to get the center point of this circle. So I will draw a guiding line, press enter to finish, and select both of them, type in move again, rotate in 90 degrees, and also for the end point as well. Alright, so now type in sweep 1. Select the rail, select the cross sections, press enter. Now we can get the result. But you might see why the color become red. It's because it was the big faces. And inside Rhino, all the face has directions. And if you type in DIR, you can check the direction of the face. And for now, you can see the white arrow was pointed out into inside. So which means it was a back face. How can we change the face direction? You can just click the flip and press enter. Okay, now you can get the result. And probably some of you cannot see the difference between back face and front face. You have to go to option here. Go to view, display mode, shaded. And then go to shading setting, back face setting, choose single color for all back faces. And then you can choose the color you want. And for me, I choose red. Click OK, and you can get the result. Alright, so here is all about sweep 1. So now we can start using the command that we already know to do some simple practice. I will delete the things we have made before. Okay, so for now, we can turn off all these keys. Let's go to the right side and click the sweep 1P layers and turn off the bulb. The practice is Alien User, designed by Philip Stark, one of the most important industrial designers in the world. And for this one, actually it's not that hard to do that. The most important thing to make this one is to analyze the geometries. For this kind of detail, the round corner and the melted details, melted effect, probably for now we cannot do that. But the basic shape is easy to do. So, for this alien juicer, basically it was composed by legs and head. So, let's do the head first. We can using a sphere to retypology this one and retypology the sphere into the shape like this. Let's go to the top view and check this one. How many lines, how many peaks does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It has 12 peaks on this sphere. So, but if we count in the inward part, probably it has 24. We have to create 24 lines on the surface of the sphere. Let's go to here and click the little triangle under the box, and you can see sphere center radius. Usually we will use this one. And also you can also choose create sphere through here. A solid sphere, center radius. Solid means it was a closure surface. It was an intact, compact surface. So without hole. So if you want to create some primitives, you can find the command here or here. So let's go to solid. Select sphere, center radius, and then with the object's name, let's choose the center point here as a reference so that we can change the size. And also, don't forget to hold on your shift key. When you hold on your shift key, you can make everything become orthographic, which means you can make this one stick to certain direction, especially for vertical and horizontal. So I will hold my shift key on keyboard and make the size probably approximately match with the original model. And once you finish, click your left mouse button and it will be done. Okay, let's move this one to right side. And then we're going to rebuild this sphere. So let's type in rebuild. And we need 24 lines on the U direction, which actually means the vertical directions. If you go to the perspective view to see that, it's vertical. And for the V, which means the horizontal direction, is around 6 lines. It will be quite enough. So once you finish the setting, we don't have to change the degree. Once you finish the setting, click OK. so we can have enough lines for us to control. Press F10 to call out the control point, or go to here, point on. Select the object and select the point on. You can call out all these control points. And if you want to turn off, press F11, or just using your right mouse button to select this icon, and you can turn off the points. Okay, turn on this one, and now we are going to select the lines, the points we need. Because actually, although it looks like we only select these points, but actually we will select both the upper point and the bottom point. So you need to hold on your shift key to select the point so that you can do the multi-selections. And we only select the first line points, third line point, fifth line point, seventh line point. We don't select the 2 line points, 4 line points, and the others. So let's do this. Select this one. Okay, once you finish your selections, your gumball is supposed to show in the center of the sphere because everything was symmetry, so it's supposed to appear in the center of the sphere. Now we can use scale to create this kind of peak. Let's do the X direction scale first. Click this little red cube and type in 0.7 or 0.8. And then let's go to the Y direction. Again, 0.7. And you can get the result. Probably it's a little bit too much, so we can do that again. Don't worry about that, we can always undo. So maybe 0.8 would be fine. Okay, so it looks like this. Good. And now we can turn off the control point for now. Press F11 to turn off this one. And you may see that basically this one was in the center, this peak was in the center. So which means we have to rotate 7.5 degree for this alien head. So let's click the gumball and type in 7.5. Okay, probably more. Right now, we get the right result. This peak was located in the center. If you are not so sure, let's draw a guiding line for reference. Select the center and hold on your shift key to draw a vertical line, and you can see it was located in the center. Okay, so for now we have finished the top part about the horizontal top view. We also have to make the side view looks like this. So let's go to the front view and move this one down and maybe more closer to our alien user head. Press F10 again. And how can we make this one like this? Just change the proportion of the geometry and it will be fine. But for this part, it seems like it is impossible for us. No matter how we drag these points, it still looks like this. So how can we do that? Actually, let's go to perspective view. And if you rotate and check the button, there is a point. There is a control point in the middle. So just drag this one. and it will make the button more sharp, so it will look like the things we want. Okay, so now it's almost finished. Let's do some adjustments. Okay, it's pretty much finished. So let's press F11 to turn off the control points. So the body is finished. So now we are going to make the legs. How can we make the legs? Let's use this one as reference because I think we have already rotated this one to face the front view. So we can just use this one as a reference. Now we are going to using sweep 1 to do the things we want. And probably this kind of display mode is not that good for us to see. So we can change different type of display mode. Now click the little triangle on the right side of the front view. And you can see there are multiple different ways of display. So you can change the rendering mode and it will look more realistic, this kind of metal style. And you can change to artistic style. And also you can change to arctic style. And now we are going to using wireframe style. So let's draw the line first. If you remember, we are going to using sweep 1 to make the alien juice lake. So let's using polyline first. Go to here, and basically it will be the line supposed to be in the center of the leg. And once you finish, press enter. This part is more straight, so I will using polyline. But this part it has some curvatures, so I will using control point curve. Don't forget to connect the endpoint with the line which you just drew, and then more or less just make this one. Try to make your line, the line which you drew, be fit with your reference. Okay. Once you finish your drawing, we can select both of them and go to perspective view to check. It looks okay, pretty good. And then we can hold on, multi-selection these two curves. Hold on your shift key to select both of them and press Ctrl J to join both of them. And now we are going to create sections. And how this one looks like. Basically this one probably is more like an ellipse. And this part is looks more like a sphere. So in the bottom part, we can move a little bit. At the bottom of the legs, we are going to using sphere, the circle. Let's go to the top view. We can use this one as a reference as well, or we can just measure this one. Let's measure this one, okay? How can we measure? Let's using the dimensions and linear dimensions, and you can measure the size here. So it's 4.65 centimeter. Okay, so let's go back to perspective view and select this one, circle center radius. And let's give this one an integer. So maybe just 4 will be fine. For radius, it will be 2. So let's just type in 2. This is the end sections. And for this part, it's ellipse. So probably it's not necessary to be super precise. So I will just choose draw a circle and maybe with the radius with 3 or 3.5 in radius. Then scale this one a little bit, make this one looks like an ellipse. Okay, so for now we can move using move command, move this one to here. Okay, and now we have to rotate into the right angle. Rotate this one 90 degrees. Okay, and rotate the green direction 90 degrees. But we haven't finished that yet. Go to the front view And also because in this part, there is an angle between the first leg and the second part of the leg. So we have to rotate, make this one fit like that, and then scale again, probably move a little bit. For now, I think it's pretty much finished. But also here, we need another section. It's better for you to control the shape. So let's copy this one, COPY, and copy this one here. Select this one, go to front view, okay, rotate a little bit. Alright, so once you finish, let's start to do the sweep one. Type in sweep one, select the rail, select the sections, and press enter. It looks good, actually really good. So click OK, finish your operations. But for now, it was in big faces, it was in the wrong directions. So let's type in flip. You can directly flip the shape. And also, for now, it was an open curve. I hope this one could become a closure curve. So how can we do that? We can use in CAD. Type in CAP, and you can cap the holes for us. And for the in the bottom part, it's supposed to be a round corner. It's supposed to have things like this. But for now, probably we can do that later. So just keep our legs like this. Now it's time to combine these two things together. So how can we do that? Because we still have two more to make, but we just copy them, it will be fine. So let's move the leg to the body which we have made, probably around here. It looks okay. And then go to top view, move here, and I hope this one could be more precise. So it's better to fit on the lines. We can draw a guiding line as a reference. And then press move. And now it is time to turn on project. For project, no matter what kind of things you draw, Rhinoceros will project everything onto ground zero. So it could be a reference for us. So let's check this one, okay? We are going to move this one, move this leg to the center of guiding line. If you didn't turn on the project, and for example, if we turn off the project and using move, it will snap into certain random point. If you check the perspective, you will know that, okay? But if you turn on project, Rhinoceros will project everything into ground zero. So you can use ground zero as a reference. So you will not touch all the other things. And so hold on your Control Shift key and using move tool to move your object to the guiding line. And you can get the right result. Okay, looks pretty good. So for now, the last thing is that we have to copy this one and also rotate this one. How can we do that? Let's type in rotate. Also, you can find here, rotate. And choose the object we want to rotate and press enter. And now we are going to copy this one. So for now, this part, copy equals no. We have to click this part and make this one become yes. Go to the center. That's the rotation center that we are going to use. And choose a reference point, probably here. Now we can start to rotate. The first one is supposed to be 120 degrees. Once you finish, press enter. And again, the second one is 240. Once you finish, press enter. And everything was done, so you can press enter and end the operations. So let's check out the result. It looks fairly okay, although we still miss some detail, like this kind of round corner, which means the bevel, and also some detail here and here. But generally, we have finished this one. So let's select everything, but there are a lot of wireframes on the surface, so I want to turn off them. Select this object, go to property, and uncheck the Show Surf ISO curve. Usually we will keep this one on, the ISO curve on, but because I want to see better results, so we can turn off them. So now it looks very clean. Okay, and we can put this one into the purple layer. In purple layer, I already set a metal material for this layer. So if you turn on, switch to render mode, click the icon here, click the little triangle icon here, and go to render mode. You can see the result. Looks good. Okay, so here is the result we have made. The alien juicer, just with simple rebuild and counterpoint operating and sweep one, we can make an alien juicer. So right now, I would not say it's super useful for interaction design students, but as a designer, it's a very powerful tool for CAD, especially for fabrications. And also, if you want to become a real product designer or an architecture designer, even for interior design, Rhino is very useful for you. And also, since for now Rhino has subdivision tools, you can also use this one for making something like game character, game scenes, and also for entertainment industry. So this is the first class for you guys. So next week we are going to do something else, something more advanced stuff. See you next week. Bye.